Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to the horror at Highrook, where today we're moving forward. Still, it feels a little slower than it did before, but we're making progress, and we have now this pagan pendant for Caligar to investigate here. A simple necklace recovered from the cold soil of the courtyard. There's writing on its reverse, blurred by time, a protective inscription, a charm to ward against the ash plague. The very mention of the disease draws a shudder from Dr. Caligar. Perhaps she can find out more by studying the artifact, and we certainly have the tools to do that. So, let's get you on that. What else do we have that people could get into? We're still a little short of being able to work with Joskel's letter. We have another shipping crate here, although we don't really have a use for it. We could try to generate... We could work some ritual offerings here. Oh, I need another point of chapel inspiration. Shoot. Yeah, these are both 4s. Okay. So I was gonna say, if we could get some, well, the secrets inspiration is probably just gift of the rat, right? We can't stack up 2 of those. Well, no, they're max 1. But like if we could get some forge inspiration, we could actually upgrade one of our tools, and that might help us with some of these trickier values a little bit. But I don't quite have the ability to do that. We do have this document box that unfortunately requires more skill than we currently have access to. We do have a didactic program, but we're going to need 4 points of task focus there, and we can generate some inspiration potentially. Yeah, we need help with the chapel. What we need more than anything is to upgrade the Valhassa tier so that we can take these things down routinely. That, I guess, is our first critical upgrade. Well, at the very least, we can let this run. I think it looks to me like we have most of our boosters on hand, right? There's that powder that we can sometimes generate here. Let me send you on a thing. Archives key. We'll just keep trying to generate booster items here while we work the little bits of the mystery, little bits of forward progress that we can work. Also, actually, it's probably worth noting that Caligar is in pretty rough shape, health-wise. Oh, hey, somebody could go pet the cat. Who wants to pet the cat? Probably Caligar wants to pet the cat. Caligar's having some struggles. Some things are going awry. Okay, it looks like we found a whole bunch of stuff here. This pendant has brought to light another mystery, one which concerns me alone. Years ago, I committed a great failure. I was assigned to combat the devastating ash plague. The first victim was a Highrook orderly, interred here before the autopsy could be conducted. I was intoxicated and absent. I failed to intervene and lost access to the corpse. Had I been able to examine that body, I might have found the answers I sought. It is too late to save those who perished then, but this pendant suggests the remains of the orderly might still be here. Perhaps I can find my answers now. I should begin in the archives. Okay, so this is the orderly reference, which we can certainly work. We did get ourselves a garden guide, which we needed. We have machine oil, so this oil bud can kind of just go wherever. We also discovered a cracked tablet. Or no, we've had this cracked tablet. We're working on that later. So let's get our orderly reference down here in the archives. Also got ourselves an inspiring text. A short pamphlet of obscure origin that could maybe generate us a relevant bit of inspiration. The orderly reference is only 3 difficulties, so this should be no problem to track down. But like I'm saying, I think we might want to hit a healing dose of medicine here on Caligar first. Things are actually getting a little grim health-wise. That said, the cat, the cat moves around. The cat's position is not always in our control, so maybe it's best we focus on that. Okay, looks like you didn't find anything. I'm not really expecting you to. Yeah, we're getting to the point where we need to be able to level up again. So only you can do that. I guess the rest of us might be in a kind of just sitting and waiting kind of spot. We can do a little bit more work with the shovel here. I think we have continued to generate new stuff with that. Let's see if we can't just replace the garden guide immediately. Okay, now that you've pulled back your madness very slightly, let's see about pulling back your absolute physical misery. All right, new garden guide, of course, fantastic. A muddy mystery to be boiled down, and also a dirty telescope. Under the layers of grime, slime, and grit lies what looks to be a well-constructed telescope. We should clean this up for a better look. Yeah, Atticus, go ahead and get on that, I think. Or Aster can do it too, right? Maybe Atticus could just dig again, because actually we are turning up things of value here. And since we got the guide replaced, send Vitali over here to find us another garden guide immediately. Okay, in Caligar, that was actually very effective, which is wild considering exactly what the damage is that we are supposed to have been fixing. And then the field phone becomes available again, and it's very difficult to imagine not just jumping on that immediately. I think we want to preserve the inspiration if we're preserving anything. Yeah, unfortunately, we're really kind of bottlenecked by just needing Caligar everywhere all the time. Okay, another muddy mystery. So it does look like we're maybe running out of new important things to find. We've discovered a field telescope. An essential part of any fieldwork pack, this sturdy telescope lets the user focus objects at a remarkable distance. Its well-oiled mechanism allows it to be stowed efficiently and then extended on demand in the manner of a theatrical pirate. Okay, this is actually going to be very useful. And it gives us some value to the Gilchrist compass as well. So I am excited to see what comes out of that. Also excited to see what comes out of this. My fear is transforming into a kind of dream state. I hear voices and footsteps, but they are not real. The image of Sophia blurs as she shakes her head sorrowfully. I am sure that something is watching me from down the darkened corridors. I was scared, but I waited. Eventually, the seekers returned. I hid nearby, listening to them talk of the song and the blade. My husband was not among them, but they are clearly hoping to open the door with a ritual drawn from the tablets. I think we might be close to that ritual ourselves, Lady Acheron, and if so, we may be able to open the door from the chapel here. When a ritual is performed, a conduit opens between Nibiru and our world. Doors open, real and symbolic, and things can pass between one point in time and space to another. It is like a network of cosmic points that can be briefly traversed. So we can open one of these damn magic doors and get the lady back. Atticus cracks his knuckles. Well, I hate all this ritual bilge, but if we can bring the lady home and lock the rest in, what are we waiting for? Sophia shakes her head, tears in her eyes. If Simon is still trapped in there, then I don't want to return. There would be nothing to return to. The Seekers left a tablet in the chapel. It is nearly complete and obviously important. I do not understand its meaning, but I will describe the symbols to you now. Please, do what you can to stop this nightmare. Sophia, do not lose hope. We will find you. The field phone buzzes with the soft rain of dying static, and then falls silent. Notice that it is now the dying phone. I'm a little worried about the condition of this thing. And indeed, it has gone to pieces. That seems like a fit there. Okay, we can try cracking this inspiring text. Unfortunately, we don't actually have an immediate need for it. Let's cook this up as well. Another muddy mystery for here. Joskel's letter 2 has arrived. Dear A, how's that old ruin treating you? Been chased by any posh ghosts yet? Anyway, if you're still looking to pick up some extra souvenirs during your job, I got some information for you. One of the boys told me that he was dropping off a parcel to Lord Acheron in his study a few months back, and the old man opened it with some very fancy knife. Apparently, the Lord managed to trap the knife in his drawer and broke the damn thing. My lad said he was mighty angry about the accident and shouted him out of the house. You check it out. Might be one of the items we're interested in. Okay, so a card with a task focus of 2 mysteries that can only be used by Atticus is it's not really a big problem. We should be able to make this work. Right, the pen and some tracing charcoal, he'll muddle through. So he discovered some catalytic powder, and that's real good. We'll definitely make use of that. He also discovered a broken microscope. Unearthed from a pile of refuse discarded on the cliff top, this shattered instrument could be of great use to us if we can mend it. If only we had a microscope to assess the extent of the damage. Indeed. And here we have Stokes the Raven. A stately corvid with dark beady eyes and ebony plumage, Mr. Stokes preens and poses, hopping from one foot to the other like a nervous child. His midnight feathers glint like metal. Stokes appears at random, hoping for a treat. He will even suffer to be carried, for a while at least. If Mr. Stokes would be willing to perhaps provide a small amount of assistance here, I think we could do some very important work together. Stokes the Raven, forevermore. Okay, so you're cooking, you're doing stuff. Caligar can use this time to run down this orderly reference, right? No. Oh, Caligar doesn't have any innate task focus for archives. I totally forgot about that. I don't know why I thought that was... Okay, that's a problem. A problem to be solved later, I guess. And here we have Aster's report. The matter of Sophia's legacy presses on me. This place is dominated by Gideon's machinations, but in truth I know that Lady Acheron was a great engineer and far more worthy of recognition. While Gideon meddled, she was an inventor for the ages. If I do not use my position at Venatus and my own insight to prove her legacy while I am here, well, I will betray both of us. Sophia left many blueprints and sketches behind. I shall work on them. The machine room will have to do. Yeah, I'm working on Aster's whole... Listen, I get Aster's whole situation. The other investigators seem to have their own thoughts and intentions here. True, we are working together intensely and competently to solve this terrible mystery, but I cannot help but feel the notions and contrivances going on behind each of their eyes. It matters not. I have my own reasons for needing to spend time exploring this place. Let Vitali indulge his obsessions and Atticus break things. I will contribute to the mission in my own ways, to protect Sophia, her family, and her legacy. Little else matters. Okay, so let's see about working out this broken microscope. Does Caligar have a machine? She doesn't, right? No, she does not. I guess I could have had her do the chapel thing and then... but I need her to do the orderly reference as well. We're just going to have to accumulate some ability. Also, Atticus left a note, and I totally didn't even notice here. Plenty of opportunity to make extra coin here, but I'm beginning to wonder if I'll ever get to spend it. You know, it's good that Vitali can read the Acheron's weird books, but he's still a meddler. There's a limit to what people should meddle with. Vitaly is one of those that cannot help but meddle. Well, perhaps it'll help us here, but honest, I'd rather have something more solid to grasp. Mumbo-jumbo is slippery as an eel. If I get home from this wretched heap, I'll start planning my life. I'll start planning for my life. I cannot end up like my father or grandfather. I intend to live out my old man days in style. If I'm lucky, maybe I can come back from here with more than just my fee. Okay. Not wanting to live your old age in poverty is, I think, an extremely understandable desire. Yeah, let's just have you just work out this text. We'll get the inspiration here. Okay. The gift of the moth and the gift of the toad. Pretty handy. You up for another one, Stokes? What an extremely helpful little friend. And a gift of the firefly. Fantastic. And a gift of the mole. Okay. So, lots and lots and lots of inspirations to be had. People are starting to get tired. Alright, definitely picked up one more of the Birdholt knives. No mistake. Hidden away in a drawer for a letter opener. Broken, though, but all the bits are there. You know, it's funny what these rich men will pick up and then throw away. People, things. When you've worked every day of your life, you're a bit closer to the things around you. You know how to fix them and how much they cost. And this knife costs more than most lives. Alright, so I found myself a broken knife. We're going to have to fix it in the machine room. And Atticus is going to have to do it. And, you know, he does have 2 points of devices. Actually, that's like a thing he's totally capable of. I did not realize. Got ourselves another tablet, and this is another 5-focus tablet. I'm going to go ahead and knock out this other muddy mystery while we're here. Cracked tablets are max 3 after all. And then... Atticus is just tired. It's probably best that we put everybody to a good rest. I'll wait until she's done with this. Okay. It was tracing charcoal, it turns out. Alright, let's just get some sleep. We could all use it. All right, and a little more inspiration. Okay, so at this point, you should be able to handle this. A booster matrix is probably a better item to spend if we have our choice because it's very easy to recover. And I'm starting to think maybe we don't want to keep everything relevant to a room in that room now that we're acquiring such large numbers of objects. So we have the resources to fix to upgrade an item. The question is, what item needs to be upgraded? If we had a helper item for the laboratory, that would certainly be high value. The Velociteer for helping us secure inspirations is certainly valuable, although we can also get inspirations from sleep. So I suppose there's that. Leveling up Palatino's pen will let us start working on these tablets. I guess that's probably the thing, right? Right now we just don't know what to do about these. So any person at all can get to work on this stuff. I'm going to send Vitaly to the archives to recover a new booster matrix. I think I'm going to have Kaligar do this. And Aster can go work out the new field telescope a little bit more. See what else we can find with this. Okay. The operation was a success. This is no ordinary quill. Its nib and body are encased in a series of metallic clasps and plates. Did I read this before? Not only do these enhancements ensure that the ink does not clog, they also provide delicate slide rules and calculation references for the researcher. That's pretty handy. I remember the Palatino Garamond text. Well, in any case, that should be all we need to start cracking tablets here. Fantastic. We found an emberstone, with which I'm sure we can produce more forged material. And a grimy jambia. So this is one of the knives. A dirt-encrusted dagger caked in so much mud and grit it looks more like a twisted root than a weapon. The underlying form is curved, implying some exotic origin and some ritualistic purpose. We could clean up this object to see what really lies beneath the filth, with 6 task focus. Jeez. Alright, I suppose we'll get there eventually. Okay, we also discovered Kittle's scope. Arthur Kittle was an eminent research fellow at the Cane Cross Sanitarium. His specialism lay in the study of microscopic homunculi, entirely fictional parasitic beings that he claimed were the source of many obscure maladies. Convinced that such tiny creatures were causing havoc inside the minds of the insane, Kittle commissioned the most accurate microscope that the East Coast had ever seen. Shipped from Ikrit, the ornate microscope contained focusing lenses of an almost astronomical quality. For years, Kittle hunted his quarry with the device, plundering brains from the sanitarium mortuary. Needless to say, he found nothing, but drew the conclusion that he himself was infected, and the homunculi had altered his own vision so as to render themselves invisible to his eyes, even with the aid of his miraculous microscope. Well, I would say this is probably the next thing on the docket for upgrades. Now, this Emberstone requires 4? Yeah, we can just go ahead and work that out, right? Got ourselves a chemical worksheet. Machine oil's not too hard to make. It's a little annoying to make it, but it'll be fine. Got ourselves another inspiring text, and also there's an Ember Wraith in the schoolroom. A burning presence summoned by the scent of depleted emberite, an invisible spectral heat that injures those present. We cannot fight what we cannot see. We must flee, or wait for the phantom to fade. Interesting. Let's see if there's anything else here for you to find. See if you can't find another booster text here. Yeah, there we go. Another booster matrix. So, some ember shards, which do the obvious thing. Some raw meat, which I think we may actually kind of need. It's been a while since we ate, and we haven't found any food in a bit. And a grimy tablet, an ancient stone tablet dug from a mound in the cliff tops. The grimy surface is crisscrossed with runic lines and antiquated typography, though it is hard to tell where the writing ends and the dirt begins. Perhaps there's some meaning here, but it requires teasing out. Well, good news. I'm great at that. Oh, this is one of these things. So maybe I don't want to start this just yet because I don't... Oh, that's right. Sorry, we have the pen. I don't need a booster item. Yeah, go ahead and do it then. I was going to say I don't really want to brew more tea. The oil bud is no problem. Let's have you go and make that happen. So we'll get our machine oil back, and then... may as well knock this out while we're here, and again, try to recover a booster matrix while that one gets spent. also some machine oil. Okay, that's looking pretty set then. The Birdholt Quillon. A dueling dagger, its characteristic curled hilt designed to catch incoming blades. Such an item would attract significant interest from the more dubious collectors of Black Sands. This reclaimed weapon is now ready for delivery. Well, then let's get out there and quickly and quietly do that, shall we? Alright, we have this document box that requires level 5. We have, in fact, decoded 1 tablet. In theory, we should have no problem just cracking this other one. Do I want to wait? Kind of. Let's try to gather up some... Yeah, I guess if you're not doing this, what could you be doing? Oh, we can put you to work on the cliff top, and thus make you... Why did I think we had something important to do right this second? We totally don't. Oh, you know what? Actually, working out the ember fungus is totally worth it. Alright. So that got sent out. We didn't recover... What is the... Oh, you know what? The item here is the chalk, right? This is a digging concern. Well, let us... I guess... dig with the shovel. And then you replace the garden guide that we're spending instead. So we got some ember liquid, and I do believe that I want to run this upgrade real quick. Even though it is going to generate another angry ember spirit, I'm sure. Nope, not that. This. Okay. When you are finding plenty of useful things, you may as well keep at it. Okay, ritual offering, great news. Garden guide, definitely useful. And an ember wraith in the machine room, somewhat inconvenient. That said, this will let us do this, and I think, yeah, catalytic powder is certainly something we can afford to lose. So this goes up in the study, as does the charcoal. Who do we want on this? I guess probably Vitaly is the only one who... Of the two remaining, Vitaly is the one who can. And do I just have Aster continue doing the thing she's doing? It feels a little silly. You know, let me have you also dig in the courtyard. We do keep finding things, though. Alright, Gideon's note 9. I need to shake off this childish apprehension and press forward, but I am vexed. Despite searching the entire estate and exhausting my contacts, I don't have enough fragments to complete the rite. The communion has offered to meet me in the labyrinthine chapel. They are to reconsecrate the place, and its position beneath the estate makes it a powerful locus for rituals. I have already scoured the halls below in pursuit of my own research, but perhaps the Seeker's return will reveal some things that I had overlooked. In truth, I think they had underestimated my skill and are now attempting recompense. Nibiru is whispering to me. I can feel its power growing inside me. If I can contain and control it, then the Seekers will soon need me more than I need them. Yeah. That's a little concerning. Also, a letter from the Seekers. Brother Acheron, before you proceed with the second rite, we urge you to meet us in the sanctum beneath your house. There is a door in the depths of your undercroft, unknown to you. It leads to a network of spaces that we once used as a scene for our work. These catacombs were not, we must stress, built by us. They are much older and have seen many things. Before the Great Witch Hunt, they served as our primary headquarters in the city. Since that repression, they have been sealed and abandoned. Now that the Eye of Nibiru is awakening above Highrook, it is time for us to return to them once again. Boy, they sure are keeping a close eye on what he's up to. Alright, lots and lots of tablets and stuff. Here's a new one. Pretty glad we upgraded that pen. And we do have the resources to pursue some more upgrades. Okay, so you found some oil, an oil bud and a focus fern, neither of which we actually need more of right now. Well, we can boil this clean at the very least. A preserved tablet as well. It is just, there's a lot of tablet work to do, unfortunately. Oh, should I have you up to something? Also, Gideon's Note 9 is the thing I read, I just didn't file it. I guess, you know what? While I'm here, we haven't made a new health elixir thing yet. It's probably something worth having on hand. All right. You're doing that, you're doing that. Atticus has unearthed another tablet. 6 is an awful lot of points here. I mean, as soon as this thing's out of the machine room, obviously we have more useful stuff to get up to. I guess I'll put you back on this task. Made ourselves a little healing dose here, which is, again, probably critical. Eventually. Probably at some point in the future, critical. Okay, nothing new from the cliff top. Can replace the lost booster matrix here. Discovered a fading fragment. There's nothing to be found here. The nothing's absence fades away like brittle leaves. We have a preserved tablet, which should go down really easily, although I am not necessarily very hopeful as far as, like, us actually finding anything in it. Yeah, I guess just let some things roll forward here. It's been a minute since we were down in the caves. We need to recover some shrooms and whatnot. Okay, study has in fact yielded us something critical. Okay. It's interesting that we have I thought in my head we had 3 tablets left. These are both 5s, and we only have 2 pieces of the symbol yet, so this may very well be the next chapter right here that we're holding in our hands. Okay, exotic spices, probably helpful. Oh, you need to go cook that meat. Okay, do you want to make some of this stuff up? And then, unfortunately, at this point, tracing charcoal, could you find that at Clifftop? Alright, basic meal made, ember liquid available, tracing charcoal recovered, penultimate drawing recovered. Some more emberstone that we can worry about later. So yeah, what do we want to upgrade? It's the Valhalla tier at this point, right? Because it's actually kind of a huge pain to work with the ritual offerings. Oh, well, I discovered an Ember Wraith. That's fun. Mechanist Aster probably ought to get out of there. And in fact, it's probably time for a little rest for everybody. Vitali, try to knock that out real fast. And then, you know, resting. After that, resting. I guess since we're taking a second, you may as well do that, and Caligar can go rest for a moment. Alright, new Ember Shards, the last bit of the sigil, absolutely. Let's all get a good night's sleep before we put that together and potentially doom all of us. Okay. And Mr. Tubbs is available for attention in case it would make you feel better to apply some love to this cat. Non-matching card. Are you not allowed to pet Mr. Tubbs in the machine room? Do you have to have somebody who has the machine skill? No, Mr. Tubbs is just in the way, preventing work from being done in the machine room. What a creature. What a friend. All right, let's put this last bit in place here. The Crimson Chalice. A right to break the threshold of the second circle. A tribute to call upon the dreaming ruins of Nibiru. A drunken circle drawn on the floor, its line uncertain as if seen through water. A goblet inscribed therein, and 4 points around the ring, compass cardinals, marked with simple vessels of wood. Make an offering to each container, north with spittle, east with tears, south with dust, west with ash. Sit within this constellation, eyes closed, a handful of thorns in each palm. Sing the song of the Red Knight. Strike the earth with your fists until they bleed and the ground opens up. Well, the fragments are made whole. The second circle awaits. We can now call upon the song, the cup, and the dreamers of the ruins. Vitali strides around the chamber, brandishing his notes. It may seem hazardous, but I am confident that we will fare better than Lord Gideon. By mastering these rituals, I am sure we can resolve our quest. Your confidence seems almost zealous, Vitali. I hope you are not becoming seduced by this noxious myth in the same way that Gideon did. Nonsense. I am merely more informed than Gideon was. He had but scattered private research, but I am backed by the library of Bleakhurst. Vitali frowns in Aster's general direction. Besides, what alternatives do we have? This ritual might be the only way to escape the Lady to provide the Lady Sophia with an opportunity to escape. I fear that Lady Acheron is close to delirium. It is hard to say how she will behave. Judging by her last transmission, she is as likely to press forward as she is to return to the surface. Alright, task focus 5. That is actually something we can totally manage here. Also, hey, check it out. It's Stokes the Raven. It's everybody's favorite friend. I mean, we could put you in the task support room and thus save ourselves a gift of the snake. Yeah, I think that might be the play. Let's get Vitali on that. So we don't have to spend. And then what is important for other people to do? We need, 4 points of didactic, 4 points of improvement here. I'm not sure how we're going to get it. Yeah, I guess there's not much to do right now, except make sure that the thing in the chapel gets done. We can send somebody out to the cliff top to recover more chalk. And maybe that's it. All right. Yeah, I think we're just kind of waiting for this chapel thing to finish. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. Our revelry is disturbed once again. There is a knocking at the door. Do you wish to join the Feast of the Old Blood? Dark liquid spills from the brim of the demon's goblet. Seekers and fools are both welcome. We have such dark dreams to share. Instruments of the End, envoys of Nibiru, I call on you to release our companions to this world. Vitali trembles, his eyes wide in awe. By the power of the golden wheel and the 6 blades, I command you to relinquish your hold on this family. Do not threaten us, fleshling. The child still flickers here like a candle. His roots meld with our soil. We will not release him. But you may have a pilgrim in his place, a returning herald, ready to sing to you of the glory he has seen. Okay, well. There's an awful lot of rising dread around the house. And welcome all to Chapter 4. One cannot return unscathed. A part remains for each seed consumed. Okay. Hey, a shambling ghoul we have discovered. The song releases me. A crooked shadow emerges from the mist and lumbers toward the house. That smell. So sweet. The stolen blood. The stolen son. What evil has been visited on us now? A rotting ghoul spouting gibberish and bile. Atticus clenches his fists. Begone, you skin-drenched horror, or I will beat your fetid frame back into the earth. Yeah, that does seem like a pretty important task, actually. Okay, this requires a 4, which we certainly have. A twisted parody of human form, this stumbling corpse lurches around the house, twitching and flailing, as if driven by some infernal puppet master. Perhaps it was once human, but now it is just a bundle of tormented flesh and shattered memories. It will not leave of its own accord, and must be driven out by force. Fortunately, I do believe we are up to the task. Atticus, have at it. Also, a lot of rising dread around here. Twisting threads of smoke rise from cracks in the ground like tendrils of dark blood. A choking miasma full of fetid whispers, like an exhalation of the dead. Okay, that's pretty not ideal, if I'm honest. I am going to go ahead and solve this while we're here. And then we also have some notes here. Ever since we began to assemble the second ritual, my dreams have begun to linger into the waking hours. They add some tincture of themselves to all of reality after the fact, as if they are attempting to reach out to me beyond the confines of sleep. What if all dreams are not simply the struggles of the unconscious mind, but a sort of reception of a transmission? We've seen from the mechanist that such remote transmissions are possible via mechanical means, so why not something of the flesh, across time and space? The more I dream here, the more I am convinced that such nighttime visions might offer a very real conduit to other worlds and histories. Yeah, sleeping a lot, terribly important. This I feel like we have grasped. So, I'd love to do a little bit of archive work to like replace the missing booster diagram, but kind of off limits. Let's just let Atticus deal with the ghoul and see what happens. Gift to the Firefly, pretty handy. Okay, Atticus did take some damage there. Actually, a fair amount of damage, just being that close to the thing. A growing insight. A thoughtful revelation derived from overcoming a taxing task. Though such small victories might seem inconsequential, they can be the impetus for personal growth. Oh, I'm not allowed to move anything till I look at the wellhouse code. What was that thing? It seemed almost human, yet twisted into a horrible travesty of life. It has been driven off, but not for good. I can still hear its cries from across the estate. The mechanist looks relieved, but concern soon returns to her face. But where is Sophia? She was supposed to have returned via the ritual. Did this creature emerge instead of her? Yes, Miss Aster, I think you are correct. It might even be that Sophia chose to enter the Shadowed Isle herself during the rite. If so, she is now in Nibiru, in pursuit of her child. We might only be able to contact her again via further ritual. I believe that her replacement is some form of reanimated life. I have heard of such zombies, but have never seen one with my own eyes. How does it still function? What magic lies in its blood? Caligar shakes herself out of the reverie. It seems to have some connection to this place, though. A manor keycard fell from its rags as it fled. And that does seem awfully useful and important. Okay, I need to upgrade Javid's crank here, actually. Which, good news, we are in a state to do. Alright, another shambling ghoul has shown up in the archives, and certainly we can deal with that. So it's archives or mysteries. And unfortunately, it's going to require a skill of 5 to deal with. So, got to get this eyepiece leveled up as well. Alright, we'll get there. That said, I think this is where I'm going to have to leave it for today. Little bit of real life encroaching. So, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I accidentally seem to have raised an army of the undead. So that's not 100% ideal, especially since like they're not even commanding us or anything, or not even obeying us or anything cool like that. Because, you know, if we could raise an army of immortal soldiers, that might make up for some of the other difficulties we're having around here, right? But yeah, we're not so lucky. So come back next time for an awful lot of zombie combat, and we'll see you then.